So you guys want to grill me on the sun to earth ratio. Let's say this is the sun and this is the earth. You're only getting this amount of sunlight from the sun. Let's say this is the earth, this is you. You're not going to see a small ball shining over your 3 miles of vision perspective from that. It doesn't work that way. End of story.
I do, you know, there's plenty of water up there now. Now I've learnt that you see the wave? There's the wave. Look at that wave. Okay, now I've got the moon wave. You seen that, guys? Is that the moon wave that everyone talks about? Did you see that? Did you see the moon wave? 2 of them. Okay, now.
First of all, I'm a radar girl. I was a radar technician in the Navy, hardcore military. I was so gung-ho, 20 years old. I worked the Aegis Spy 1 Bravo radar, which is a guided missile radar. About 10 years ago, I started to realize that we were lied to about pretty much everything. I'm not a flat earther now, but I know for sure that everything we've been taught in school has been bullshit with a little sprinkling of truth here and there to make us believe it. I'm not like a triggered person, except for that peer-reviewed bullshit. I mean, hear the peer-reviewed studies before I believe it. Anybody who demands peer-reviewed studies is a pathetic loser. Demonstrates that they cannot think for themselves. Period. Come on, dude. You can't believe something unless a bunch of other people agree with you? My God. Give me a fucking break. I know what I know without needing other people to agree with me in order to believe it. I'm just a little bit bamboozled about how people can pretend to be intelligent and demand peer review. It's so ridiculous. I don't call myself a flat earther, but, you know, watching globe debaters, they're pushing me towards flat earth. The flat earth, or whatever his name is, FTFE, thinks he's so smart. I'm not a flat earther, and I can't stand this dude. So illogical and emotional. That guy, he was talking shit to me in comments on YouTube, and I'm like, I'm not even a freaking flat earther, you know? So pathetic. It's just pathetic. Just look at the world. Question everything. Trust your own instincts. Believe what you believe, regardless of what's taught to you. Stop depending on the consensus of others.
You guys, I have a video that I'm going to show you, but I can't take credit for it. My buddy, Tom, you guys know him as Holler, sent this to me. This is a military aircraft, and we're just going to watch the video, and we're just going to ask some questions. This requires thinking caps. You see this? Hovering. So if this thing can hover right here, right? And now we have to go and think about what we were taught, right? What we were sold in the indoctrination camps. So the Earth has the 1,000 mile per hour spin, and then it's simultaneously doing the elliptical orbit around the sun at 66,600 miles per hour, which is incredibly fast. And then it's being pulled by the sun's gravity through the universe at like a whopping 483,000 miles per hour. But this can hover. And I don't want to hear, but it's inertia, Jen. It doesn't matter. Okay, there are a lot of things that we have been told and sold that is not true. Okay, that's an ideology that they want us to believe. Okay, it's an ideology. That's all it is. It's not even real science. Real science is, it's provable. It's testable. It's repeatable. It's tangible. You know, it's provable. And with all these satellites out there, satelloons, and being on the moon so many times, you would think that they could actually show us the full Earth in real time doing this. The closest thing they had was the ISS, and the ISS never even showed the whole Earth, never showed the spin. It's garbage. It's all hogwash. It's probably why they're taking the ISS down. I think in 2030 it's expected to come down. Actually, NASA's paying Elon to take down the ISS, which I find hilarious. But anyways, this right here. So they never show us the Earth doing any of that. We just believe it because, you know, since basically birth, they've conditioned us to believe that this is where we live, a spinning elliptical orbiting ball. So the Earth technically has 4 motions. So as it's doing the elliptical orbit, supposedly it speeds up and it slows down, which is crap. Because if you're cruising along at like 66,600 miles per hour and you slow down at all, it would liquefy everything. So, like, why are we believing this shit? And then, like gravity, right? So gravity is this magical invisible gravity, which, by the way, is easily explainable by weight, mass, buoyancy, density, electrostatics, and magnetism. Things fall to the ground because they are heavier than the medium that they are in, which is the air. But gravity is so strong, right? Oh, it's so strong. It holds everything to Earth while Earth is doing all this motions, but weak enough to let a gnat fly. And then the sun's gravity, selective gravity, is so strong that it can pull the whole Earth and all the planets behind it, but allows us to keep our air to breathe. See, people don't think about this, right? Oh, gravity on Earth is different than gravity on the sun. How do you know? Have you ever been to the sun? Nope. It's just a trust me, bro. That's all it ever is. Trust me, bro. It's not even real science. It's pseudoscience. It's all an ideology. Did you know back in the 1900s is when they came out with this garbage? Because before that, long before that, they were teaching people that the Earth wasn't moving. All of our ancient ancestors knew that the Earth was level, stationary. A compass would never even work on a spinning ball, let alone a spinning elliptical orbiting ball. Compasses only work on a flat, motionless plane. If you move around, the compass moves. That's how a compass works. Like, they've literally conditioned people not to think. And when you see things like this, people still don't even question it. Like, duh. You don't live on a spinning ball, okay? You're not flying through the universe. The Big Bang is all hogwash. That was brought up by some Catholic priest in like the 1930s. And then they rewrote all of the books, and then they presented them to everybody in the schools, and they made you memorize it. They made you regurgitate it. They brainwash you through the movies with the music. They put it everywhere. And you believe it. They show you a bunch of cartoon balls, and you believe it. Without even questioning it. Oh, and just because they've conditioned you to be this way, okay? As full-grown adults, with logics and common sense, you know that the Earth is not moving. The only time the Earth ever moves is during an earthquake. And that is it. Okay? The Bible tells you that the Earth is set on foundations and pillars, unmovable, immovable. Let's see. The guy who was the main rocket engineer for NASA, Wernher von Braun has on his tombstone that we live in a firmament. All of our ancient ancestors knew it. They have a treaty that won't allow us to go past the 60 degrees south because, you know, there's that firmament there, and they don't want us to know about it. You know, our countries can't get along on anything else, but sure, they can get along on this tree just fine. No questions asked, right? Just fall in line. Don't question. Just fall in line. Go to work. Pay your taxes, pay your bills, even though God gives you free water and free land and free food and energy. But there's a crisis. There's always a crisis. Just do what the news tells you. Turn it on. Go buy what they want you to buy. Give them your money. Go work for all these hours in a day. Pay the bills. Pay for their kids to not go to the public school system. If your kids are in the public school system, I feel bad for you. You should do everything you can to homeschool your children. Private education is where it's at. Pull your kids out of that crap. You do not come from monkeys. You are not related to primates, okay? You're not related to strawberries either. The amount of hogwash that they have brainwashed you to believe. And I watch these lives on here, and the people that come in to the lives, they're like children. Do you know that even though you're 18 years old and you're technically an adult, you're still a child? You still think like a child. Your logics and common sense is gone, okay? Especially if you're out there wearing the mask because the government tells you to, or if you're out there injecting yourself because the government tells you to. It's not very smart, now is it? So, start thinking about things, okay? The government is not your friend. They lie to you about everything. Our whole history is a lie. All of the books that they give to you is already made. You know they have been rewriting the books and changing the history every time they want to change an ideology since like 150, since the year 150. But you guys don't know that because they don't want you to know that. They only want you to know what they want you to know. Okay? The earth is not moving. You do not live on a ball. Okay? And if you do live on a ball, can you please give me the coordinates to where this curve of the earth is? Please. Because at 24,901 miles, you need to have a physical curve. Give me the coordinates, please. I'll be waiting. And you're going to have to go against all the military documents, the NASA documents that talk about the flat, non-rotating Earth. Student flight dynamic handbooks as well. I'll be waiting. I don't want cartoons either. I need the coordinates to where this physical curve is. Okay?
Yeah, we can. We can go to a lake and prove it. Okay, this is what makes me think that NASA is lying to me. I remember when I first got born again years ago. I got saved and I become religious and I started reading the Bible, and then I read something about the firmament, and I didn't know what it was.
That's what the Bible used to call like space, like what's outside.
That's what some people say, and the reason why a lot of us don't look more into flat Earth is because when it is brought up, we're fed propaganda. Like for instance, you see like a pancake Earth out of space, then you hear somebody talking about it. That's not what we think. We don't think that. But that's what the images that's fed, and then they mocking like flat Earth and telling us why. Where if the Earth was flat, then gravity would pull everything to the center. All this propaganda. Okay, so when I learned about the firmament, I went back. When I heard about the firmament, I went back to the Bible and I said, "Oh yeah, this is what it is." I didn't know what it was, and I remember the Bible saying it's separate the waters from the waters. Then I looked up the word firmament, and I looked up the old word. You got to look up what the old word is and stuff like that. And then I figured out what that was, and then that sent me on my journey because it was hard for me to believe. And then I wasn't believing. I was like, just all conspiracy until I came across this one video of this guy talking about emergency landings, and this is the one thing that tipped me over to believing the flat Earth, and for a few reasons. I remember this older white lady that was talking about racism in America, and she was talking about how our continent is shaped different. Some continents are bigger than what they put in the maps. So she said they mess with the maps and how thing is, and then this guy was talking about emergency landings. He was saying that one time this Asian lady was coming from Asia, I think Taiwan or somewhere, flying to LAX, and she was pregnant, but she was lying about how far along she was. So she got on the plane anyway, and then she started giving birth on the plane. So they had to make an emergency landing from Asia to Alaska. And if you pay attention to where Alaska is on the globe, that is not an emergency landing. And then his roommate was like, what's going on? He said, man, I can't figure out how this is an emergency landing when they're coming from Asia going to LA, and they stopped in Alaska all the way over here. Like, why? How is that an emergency? Why did they stop there? And then he said, oh, that makes perfect sense on a flat Earth map. Then he pulled up a scientific, real flat Earth map from 1800. The guy was like, what is flat Earth map? He said, the United Nations logo. They use it. They throwing it in our face. The map that we use is wrong. It's different. They changed it. This is the actual map, and you can look up in the encyclopedias. You can go and check one out of the library. It's a map that was. It says like it's proven. It's a map, and it's scientifically proven. It's a fact that these are the maps that they use. It's a flat Earth map, and you have to fly over Alaska to get to LA. So
from Asia.
Yeah, but Alaska is right by. It's right by us. It's not far up, but by LA. It's not west. Far. It's not more north than what we think. So, like, we've been lied to. So that is an emergency landing. Then I started looking to other emergency landings, and I started looking to like layovers and stuff like that. And a lot of stuff didn't make sense. Why they would fly all the way up here to change, then like the flat Earth map is totally different. Then once you kind of look into the flat Earth map, and then and when you fly across the world, and you know, like the layouts and where to stop and stuff, then it kind of make sense. The flat Earth, and that's what took me over the edge, was that the emergency landings thing.
It came in the mail and y'all are opening it with me. Ooh. Smell it. Woo! Here we go.
The flat Earth map dates back over 1,000 years. This map is credited to being created by a Persian astronomer. His name was Al-Biruni, and he lived between 973 AD to 1048 AD. It's the official map of the United Nations and also the United States Geological Survey. It used to be present in many places before the creation of NASA and the Antarctic Treaty in 1959. Here you see it with Admiral Byrd. This map has been restored by Dmitry from Russia with suggestions of mine, Eddie Alenkar. Known by my YouTube channel Flat Earth Banjo, I asked Dmitry to include the Bermuda Triangle and Point Nemo, a place deep in the Pacific where NASA buries rockets. Then Robert Tozzi, a professional mapmaker, came along and enhanced the map even more. There are many people now selling this map online, but if you could order it from my online store, I would greatly appreciate it. Visit my online store now and order one of the items. I humbly thank you